Okay, on today's packet, you need to take notes over the 6 problems, okay? And you need to do the 4 on your own. I know it's kind of long, but that's how you're going to get better at it. Simple as that. Some people know what they're doing, some people don't, okay? All right, now, none of these equations have a base. You're going to draw your circles and copy the first equation in the square underneath, okay? So draw your circles, just like that. And then you need to copy that first equation down here, okay? You will use that to get your second answer. So 2x plus 4y equals 22. Real simple, you just take what's on top, write it. Okay, now find the x or the y circle with the same number in front of it. When you're finding this, ignore any negatives, okay? So here's my x's, okay? I've got 2 and 2, I think that's the same number, okay? So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to write 2x and 2x, just like that. Now, right off to the side, what the signs are on that number you just wrote. They're both positive. Now, if you got a negative and a positive, we're not going to change anything. We're going to leave it the way it is. But if they're both positive or they're both negative, switch the numbers in the bottom row to opposite sign. These are both positive. When they are both the same sign, you will need to switch the bottom to opposite. If you just want to write switch, that's fine too. So that positive 2 is now a negative 2. That negative 2 is now a positive 2. And that negative 8 is now positive 8. Okay? Now you add the top number to the bottom number. If you get 0, don't write anything. Slash it out. Okay? I'm even going to write the word plus, plus, and plus. Okay, so now I can see the numbers I'm going to be plussing. 2 plus negative 2 is 0. So if I got a 0, cross it off. If you don't get a 0, you did something wrong. Now I take 4. The 2 is now positive, so I add positive 2, and that's 6, so 6y. And then I take 22 plus positive 8, so if it's positive, you can just plus 8, and that's 30. Now dot your y and divide. 30 divided by 6 is 5. So y is 5. Now, this is why you wrote this. Now you can put 5 where y is at. And I will be taking 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Don't put y on that. Cross it off. And then add 2x before equals, and then 22. So I dot the 2x, circle it, and I will minus 20, minus 20. So 2 dot x equals 2, and then you can divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So if x is 1, y is 5. Next problem. Draw the circles and copy the first equation in the square underneath. Now copy that top equation. 4x plus negative 7y equals 3. Okay, now find the x or y circle with the same number in front of it. When you're finding this, don't worry about the negatives. Guys, 4 and 1 are not the same number, okay? So 7 and 7 are the same number. So right off to the side, what signs are in front of the number? So this is where I had the same number. So 7y, 7y. Now what are the signs? That's negative, and that's negative. If one is negative, the other's positive, don't change anything, leave it the way it is. But if they're both positive or both negative, switch the numbers in the bottom row to the opposite. They're both the same. They're both negative, so you need to switch. You do that to the bottom. So the 1 was positive, now it's negative. The 7, that was negative, now it's positive. The 15, that was negative, now it's positive. Okay? Now, add the top number to the bottom number. If you get 0, don't write anything, just slash it out. So I'm going to write plus again, plus, plus, plus. So 4 plus negative 1 is 3x. Negative 7 plus, that's now positive 7, so 7, oh, that's 0. Slash it out. Equals 3 plus 15 is 18. And then you can dot your 3 and just divide because there's nothing outside of it. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So x equals 6. So put 6 in for x. Now x is 6, so you go parenthesize the x. Put 6 in. Now circle the 6 and the 4. You times those. 4 times 6 is 24. Don't put x. And then cross that out. And then before equals, you've got negative 7y equals 3. Now dot your y, circle it, minus 24, minus 24, so negative 7 dot y. 3 minus 24 is negative 21. And then I divide by negative 7. Negative 21 divided by negative 7 is 3. Next problem. 3x plus 3y equals 27. 1x plus negative 3y equals negative 11. Draw the circles and copy the first equation in the square underneath. Now copy that top equation. 3x plus 3y equals 27. Find the x or y circle with the same number in it. And when you're finding this, ignore any negatives that you might have. 3 and 1 are not the same number. That's not what I write over here. 3 and 3 are the same number. So it's y that has the same number. So 3y, 3y. That 3 was positive. That 3 is negative. If one's negative, the other's positive. Don't change anything. Leave it the way it is. One's positive, one's negative. So I'm going to write good, okay, instead of switch. That means I don't change anything. Now add the top number to the bottom number. If you get 0, don't write anything. Slash it out. So I'm going to write plus, plus, plus. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 4x. Positive 3 plus negative 3. That's 0. Out. Equals 27 plus negative 11, and that's 16. Dot your x and divide. 16 divided by 4 is 4, so x is 4. Okay, now we have this, okay? If x equals 4, we put 4 in for the x, okay? And I take 4 times 3, that's 12. Plus 3y equals 27. Then I dot my y and circle it, minus 12, minus 12. So 3 dot y equals 15. And then I divide by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So there's your other answer. Next problem. There's no base equation. So find the x or the y. Okay, so draw your circles first. Just like that. Okay, now write the first equation. Negative 1x plus 5y equals 13. That helps me get my second answer later. Now, find the x or the y circle with the same number in front of it. When you're finding this, ignore any negatives. 1 and 1 are the same number. So I'm going to write same. Okay, right there. So, right off the side what the signs are on that number. So I've got 1x and 1x. This is negative. This doesn't have a sign, so it's positive automatically. They are opposites, so that is good. I don't need to switch. Okay. All right, now I'm ready to add the top number to the bottom number. If you get 0, don't write anything and slash it out. So negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Okay. Oh, plus, okay. 0 out. Okay. 5 plus negative 1 is 4. So 4y. And then 13 plus 15. 28. Now dot your y and divide. 28 divided by 4 is 7, so y equals 7. That's y. Okay, so 7 is going to go where the y is at. And I take 7 times 5. 7 times 5 is 35. Get that out of there. And then before equals, we have to add negative 1x equals 13. And then I dot my negative 1x. And then I subtract 35. So negative 1 dot x. And I take 13 minus 35. It's going to be negative 22. And then I divide by the negative 1. Negative 22 divided by negative 1 is positive 22. Okay, next page. 5x plus negative 1y equals 0. 3x plus 1y equals 24. Draw your circles. Circles are done just like this. Okay, they all line up perfectly. And also copy down your first equation. 5x plus negative 1y equals 0. Okay, now find the x or y circle with the same number in front of it. When you're adding this, finding this, ignore any negatives. 5 and 3 are not the same number. 1 and 1 are the same number, so same. I'm writing same, S-A-M-E, right there. Now right off the side what the signs are on that number. So I've got 1y and 1y. Same thing. That is negative. That is positive. So if I have a negative and a positive, that's good. Okay. Now add the top number to the bottom number. If you get 0, don't write anything out, slash it out. So plus, plus, plus. So 5 plus 3, 8, 8x. Negative 1 plus 1. That's 0. Don't write anything. Just cross it off. And then equals 0 plus 24 is 24. Now dot your x and then divide by 8. 24 divided by 8 is 3. And that was the x. That's the letter. So 3. Now go find your x right there. Put a 3 there, and we'll be taking 5 times 3. That's 15. Cross out that circle. Plus negative 1y equals 0. Now you dot your y and circle it. You got a 15 you need to minus. So negative 1 dot y. 0 minus 15 is negative 15. And then I divide by negative 1. Negative 15 divided by negative 1 is 15. Positive. Okay, next up, no base. Draw the circles and copy the first equation in the square underneath. Copy it. Find the x or the y circle with the same number in front of it. When you're finding this, ignore any negatives. Those are not the same number. These are the same number, 5 and 5. So I'm going to write same. Okay. And then write out the side what the signs are on that number. So I've got 5y and 5y. That one's positive. That one's positive. Now, that's not good. They should not be the same. If one's negative, one's positive, don't change anything, leave it the way it is. But if they're both positive or both negative, you got to switch the numbers in the bottom row to the opposite sign. Okay, so I'm going to write, that's not good. I'm going to write switch. Okay. So that 3 is going to become a negative 3. That 5 becomes a negative 5, because 5 plus 5 is not 0. Okay, 5 plus negative 5 will be. Then negative. And then I write plus. And then it'll work itself out. So I take 6 plus negative 3, and that's 3, so 3x. Zero. 5 plus negative 5. So if it's 0, don't write it, just cross it out, and then equals 39 plus negative 27 is 12. So I dot the x, divide by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So x is 4. Now 4 is going in for the x. And I take 6 times 4. That's 20. Circle it. 24 plus 5y equals 39. Dot your y, circle it. You're going to minus 24 from both sides. So 5 dot y equals 15, and then divide by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay, pause the video and do the 4 on your own. Remember, you got to write off the side what they are. Okay, that's what we'll be doing next week. You need to take notes on these two. There's nothing on your own. This will need to be handed in with your assignment to earn the credit. Okay, now there's no base on these either. There's no letter by itself. So you draw your circles, we already did that. And copy the first equation, the square underneath. So 4x plus 2y equals 34. Now find the x or the y circle with the same number in front of it. When you're finding this, ignore negatives. 4 and 10 aren't the same number. But 2 and 4 aren't the same number either. Well, certainly that's a problem because I can't write same on either one of these. There is a trick you need to do, okay? What number is my finger on right here? Looks like 10, okay? What I do is I take 10 to the top, and I'm going to multiply all these numbers, all three of them, by 10. Now, you're not done. So again, finger here, 10, 10, 10. Now, what number is my finger on now? Okay, that top X, what number is my finger over? 4. Okay, 4. So I will be times 4, times 4, times 4. Once again, 10, so 10, 10, 10, 4, 4, 4, 4. And now we times them. So I take 4 times 10 would be 40 with an X. And then I take 2 times 10, which is 20, with a Y, so plus 20Y. Your X's and Y's don't go away when you're doing this. And 34 times 10 is 340. Now you are going to get some bigger numbers. You have a calculator. Now on the bottom, I got to take all these times 4. So 10 times 4 is 40. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. And that needs Y on it. And then negative 5 times 4. Negative 20. Now circle again. Let's try it again. 40 and 40 are the same number, so I write same right there, okay? Same. Now make your little box down here and write the 40x and 40x. That's positive, and that's positive. That's bad. That's not good to have them both the same. You need to switch. Switch the bottom, but I switched this bottom. So that 40 was positive, now it's a negative. That 16 was a negative, now it's positive. That 20 is a negative, now it's positive. Okay, now write plus, plus, plus. Okay, so I take 40 plus negative 40. That's 0. Slash it out. 20 plus 16. 16 is now positive, so I add 16. So 36y. And then 340 plus 20 is 360. Then I dot my y and divide here. So I take 360 divided by 36, and that's 10. So y equals 10, okay? And then to find the x, it's the same before right here. The 10 goes in for y. And I take 10, 2 times 10. So 2 times 10 is 20, plus 4x equals 34. Now dot your 4, circle it, minus 20, minus 20. So 4 dot x equals 14. Divide by 4, divide by 4. Decimal, that's okay, 3.5. Okay, next problem, we'll work more on this next week. Okay. Circles are drawn. Copy that top equation, 3x plus 6y equals 42. Okay, are 3 and 7 the same number? No. Are 6 and 8 the same number? No. Okay. Well, that's a problem if they're not. If I can't call either one of these the same, that's a problem I'm going to have to deal with. What number's right here? -7. So I will times all these by -7. -7, -7, -7. Now you got to do the bottom row too. What number's on top with the x? What number's my finger on here? 3. So I take 3, 3, 3. Okay, so I take 3 times -7. It's -21 with x. 6 times -7. -42 with y. Equals, I take 42 times -7. I got -294. Okay, and then the bottom, -7 times 3. -21 with x. 8 times 3. 24 with y. And then equals -109 times 3 is -327. Again, the numbers are going to be kind of big. You have a calculator. Now let's try the circle. Okay, 21 and 21 are the same. So I do have a same in there. So I go make my box down here because I'm using space here. So 21x, 21x, just write it. That's negative, and that's negative. So they're not supposed to be the same sign. They're supposed to be a positive and a negative, so that's not good. You switch your bottom. The -21 is now +21. The 24 is now -24. The -327 is now positive. Okay, and then I plus. So -21 plus 21 is 0. Exactly what I want. -42 plus -24 is -66. -294 plus, and 327 is positive, so I just punch in 327 is 33. Dot your y, and we'll divide by -66. So 33 divided by -66 is -0.5. So y is -0.5. So I'll put that in for y. So -0.5. Now circle that, and I take 6 times -0.5. I got -3. Plus 3x before equals 42. Now dot your x. we have a negative 3, so plus 3 plus 3. So 3 dot x equals 45, and then I divide by 3. 45 divided by 3 is 15.